All right, everyone, grab your popcorn because Meghan Markle is about to give us her favorite bedtime story again. You know the one, how 11-year-old Meghan supposedly changed a sexist dish soap commercial with just one letter. According to her, this one little move had Procter & Gamble scrambling to replace the word women with people. Instant feminist hero, right? Well, let's not jump to conclusions. Word on the street is Meghan's dad, Thomas Markle, might have been pulling a few strings behind the scenes. Apparently, he got her on TV, and some say he even faked letters from Hillary Clinton and Gloria Allred to help her little tale shine brighter. But hey, Meghan loves to trot this story out like she's been fighting the patriarchy since day one. And here's where things get juicy. While Meghan loves to wave this story around to boost her feminist cred, let's not forget she hasn't exactly been the kindest to other women. She's been rude to Princess Catherine on multiple occasions, reportedly made Princess Charlotte cry over a dress fitting at her wedding, and even mocked the whole royal tradition of curtsying to the Queen. Classy, right? So, while Meghan's out there selling her feminist icon narrative, it's hard to ignore the real stories, like how she tears down women behind the scenes. And don't get us started on how her dear old dad, who probably did more housework than she admits, has been conveniently left out of this fairy tale. So sit tight because we're about to take a look at just how many times Meghan's told this gem of a story to prove she's the ultimate feminist warrior, while the rest of us are left scratching our heads. First up, we have Meghan at the South by Southwest Conference, sitting on a panel about breaking barriers, shaping narratives. And let me tell you, she's shaping one narrative for sure, all about herself.
Let's jump in here.
I was 11 years old, about 11 years old, and I had seen a commercial on TV for a dishwashing liquid, and the boys in my class at the time said, it said, women all over America are fighting greasy pots and pans. And the boy said, yeah, that's where women belong, in the kitchen. And at 11, I just found that infuriating and wrote lots of letters and put pen to paper, and they ended up changing the commercial to people all over America. And, it's funny to look back at it now because that was before social media where you had a reach that was so much greater. It was just an 11-year-old with a pen and paper. But it just, I guess, goes to show that if you know that there's something wrong and you're using your voice to advocate in the direction of what is right, that can really land and resonate and make huge change for a lot of people. So.
Next, we've got Meghan at the UN Women Conference in New York back in 2015. Spoiler alert, it's the same dish soap story again, and boy, does she sound smug. This video was so long because of all the unnecessary pauses for impact that I had to speed it up so I reduce your suffering by that much.
See, I had been in school watching a TV show in elementary school, and this commercial came on with the tagline for this dishwashing liquid, and the tagline said, "Women all over America are fighting greasy pots and pans." Two boys from my class said, "Yeah, that's where women belong, in the kitchen." I remember feeling shocked and angry and also just feeling so hurt. It just wasn't right and something needed to be done. So I went home and I told my dad what had happened. And he encouraged me to write letters. So I did, to the most powerful people I could think of. Now, my 11-year-old self worked out that if I really wanted someone to hear me, well, then I should write a letter to the First Lady. So off I went, scribbling away to our First Lady at the time, Hillary Clinton. I also put pen to paper and I wrote a letter to my news source at the time, Linda Ellerby, who hosted a kids' news program, and then to powerhouse attorney Gloria Allred. Because even at 11, I wanted to cover all my bases.
Now, brace yourselves for Meghan at the Queen's Commonwealth Trust International Women's Day panel in 2018. See if you can keep track of how many times she says I, me, and my. One thing's clear, there's definitely one woman Meghan cares about a lot, herself.
At the age of 11, I had seen a commercial at the time that I found to be very sexist. And, truth be told, at 11, I don't even think I really knew what sexism meant. I just knew that something struck me internally. No one was telling me that it was wrong, but I knew that it was wrong. And I think sort of using that as my moral compass and moving through from the age of 11, being able to see that at that age, I was able to actually change this commercial before social media, before being able to, have a larger reach, just putting pen to paper. It really set up the trajectory for me to say, if things are wrong and there is a lack of justice and there's an inequality, then someone needs to say something. And why not me? So I think, if I look at that from that young age and then sort of follow what I did in the years after that, it was always about learning more, not just from where I was, but where else in the world similar things were happening, a different version of the same thing, so to speak.
And of course, there are even more instances of Meghan regurgitating this tired old tale on global stages, but I couldn't subject you to any more of this garbage. You'd think marrying a prince would give you the chance to make real change in the world, but nope, she's stuck on that one tiny incident from her childhood like it's her golden ticket. Imagine having the world at your feet and this is the best you've got. But here's the real kicker. Vanity Fair sent out fact checkers to verify this grand story. And, surprise, surprise, they couldn't find any solid proof. Not only that, even her own dad, Thomas Markle, spilled the tea on Good Morning Britain that this whole thing was just part of a school letter-writing campaign. He even admitted that Meghan's claim of single-handedly changing the ad was a tiny bit embellished. But let's be real, are we even surprised?